Hello and welcome to Being Prodigy. Now put on your headphones and start learning. To get special study material, just contact us through the link in the description.
In the previous chapter, we studied concepts related to a firm's production function and cost curves. The focus of this chapter is different. Here we ask, how does a firm decide how much to produce? Our answer to this question is by no means simple or uncontroversial. We base our answer on a critical, if somewhat unreasonable, assumption about firm behavior. A firm, we maintain, is a ruthless profit maximizer. So, the amount that a firm produces and sells in the market is that which maximizes its profit. The structure of this chapter is as follows. We first set up and examine in detail the profit maximization problem of a firm. This done, we derive a firm supply curve. The supply curve shows the levels of output that a firm chooses to produce for different values of the market price. Finally, we study how to aggregate the supply curves of individual firms and obtain the market supply curve. Perfect competition, defining features. In order to analyze a firm's profit maximization problem, we must first specify the market environment in which the firm functions. In this chapter, we study a market environment called perfect competition. A perfectly competitive market has two defining features. 1. The market consists of buyers and sellers, that is, firms. All firms in the market produce a certain homogeneous, that is, undifferentiated, good. 2. Each buyer and seller in the market is a price taker. Since the first feature of a perfectly competitive market is easy to understand, we focus on the second feature. From the viewpoint of a firm, what does price taking entail? A price-taking firm believes that should it set a price above the market price, it will be unable to sell any quantity of the good that it produces. On the other hand, should the set price be less than or equal to the market price, the firm can sell as many units of the good as it wants to sell. From the viewpoint of a buyer, what does price-taking entail? A buyer would obviously like to buy the good at the lowest possible price. However, a price-taking buyer believes that should she ask for a price below the market price, no firm will be willing to sell to her. On the other hand, should the price asked be greater than or equal to the market price, the buyer can obtain as many units of the good as she desires to buy. Since this chapter deals exclusively with firms, we probe no further into buyer behavior. Instead, we identify conditions under which price-taking is a reasonable assumption for firms. Price-taking is often thought to be a reasonable assumption when the market has many firms and buyers have perfect information about the price prevailing in the market. Why? Let us start with a situation wherein each firm in the market charges the same market price and sells some amount of the good. Suppose, now, that a certain firm raises its price above the market price. Observe that since all firms produce the same good and all buyers are aware of the market price, the firm in question loses all its buyers. Furthermore, as these buyers switch their purchases to other firms, no adjustment problems arise. Their demands are readily accommodated when there are many firms in the market. Recall, now, that an individual firm's inability to sell any amount of the good at a price exceeding the market price is precisely what the price-taking assumption stipulates.
This is Being Prodigy. To get special study material, just contact us through the link in the description. And please subscribe to show your support.
Revenue. We have indicated that in a perfectly competitive market, a firm believes that it can sell as many units of the good as it wants by setting a price less than or equal to the market price. But, if this is the case, surely there is no reason to set a price lower than the market price. In other words, should the firm desire to sell some amount of the good, the price that it sets is exactly equal to the market price. The normal profit and break-even point. A firm uses different kinds of inputs in the production process. To acquire some of them, the firm has to pay directly. For example, if a firm employs labor, it has to pay wages to them. If it uses some raw materials, it has to buy them. There may be some other kinds of inputs which the firm owns, and therefore, does not need to pay to anybody for them. These inputs, though, do not involve any explicit cost, they involve some opportunity cost to the firm. The firm, instead of using these inputs in the current production process, could have used them for some other purpose and get some return. This foregone return is the opportunity cost to the firm. The firm normally expects to earn a profit that, along with the explicit costs, can also cover the opportunity costs. the profit level that is just enough to cover the explicit costs and opportunity costs of the firm is called the normal profit. If a firm includes both its explicit costs and opportunity costs in the calculation of total cost, the normal profit becomes that level of profit when total revenue equals total cost, that is, the zero level of profit. Profit that a firm earns over and above the normal profit is called the supernormal profit. In the long run, a firm does not produce if it earns anything less than the normal profit. In the short run, however, it may produce even if the profit is less than this level. The point on the supply curve at which a firm earns normal profit is called the break-even point of the firm. Technological progress. Suppose a firm uses two factors of production, say, capital and labor, to produce a certain good. Subsequent to an organizational innovation by the firm, the same levels of capital and labor now produce more units of output. Put differently, to produce a given level of output, the organizational innovation allows the firm to use fewer units of inputs. Input prices. A change in input prices also affects a firm's supply curve. If the price of an input, say, the wage rate of labor, increases, the cost of production rises. The consequent increase in the firm's average cost at any level of output is usually accompanied by an increase in the firm's marginal cost at any level of output.
This is Being Prodigy. To get special study material, just contact us through the link in the description. And please subscribe to show your support. Thank you and happy learning.